My best friend is pregnant and wants us to raise the baby together. I've been living in a wonderful 4-bedroom apartment for the past year, renting a single room. Now, with both of my current roommates set to move out in August, I've been presented with an amazing opportunity to rent the entire place. Naturally, I reached out to my 2 best friends, Indy and Layla, asking if they'd like to sublet the other 2 rooms and move in with me. They were both over the moon about the idea. At the moment, my roommates haven't actually moved out yet, and neither I nor my friends have signed any lease. So, it's all still up in the air. I've been completely honest with my friends, warning them that it might all fall apart. After all, my landlord could change his mind and decide to let me continue renting just my room instead of allowing anyone else to move in. The building is due for renovation once all the current renters have left. Indy has her own apartment and is quite comfortable there. Although my place is in a better location and more spacious, she isn't relying on this new arrangement to work out. Layla, on the other hand, still lives at home and isn't in a rush to leave either. So, if this plan doesn't come to fruition, neither of them will be left homeless. Layla was especially excited. We spent the past month talking about how we each had some savings that could be used to spruce up the apartment. It was great to have someone to share these dreams with. But then, everything took a sudden turn on Wednesday. Layla discovered that she's pregnant. She joined Tinder about 2 months ago and had been enjoying meeting new people and going on dates, which was a completely new experience for her. There are multiple potential fathers, but she has no interest in involving any of them. Surprisingly, she's over the moon about the news and has decided to keep the baby and raise it as a single mother. Personally, I think this is a dreadful idea. She's only 21, not in university yet, and has only a part-time job that lasts 4 hours a week. She also has a long history of depression and anxiety disorders, possibly something more severe like borderline personality disorder. She's currently in treatment to get an accurate diagnosis. She's never lived away from her parents or taken care of herself independently. While it's ultimately her decision, and I do love her dearly as we've known each other for over 15 years, I just can't see this working out. She hasn't told her parents yet because she knows they'll be furious. She wants to move into the apartment and raise the baby here with me and Indy. We met up on Friday, and she laid out her plan. She thought she could work until she figured out what she wanted to do about university, and Indy and I could take turns babysitting after our classes. She even suggested that we could all contribute our savings towards the baby, as if we'd all be parents. But I'm just not okay with any of this. University is already stressful enough, and I barely have enough time for my assignments as it is. I'm 22, and I still want to enjoy my youth, like having friends over for a drink on Fridays, sleeping in on Sundays, and going on dates. Having an infant in the apartment just doesn't fit into my lifestyle. It's her choice to keep the baby, but I don't think it's fair to force Indy and me to be co-parents. I think she has a very romanticized view of what it means to raise a small child, especially as a young, single mother with limited resources. Even though I love her, I'm not willing to sacrifice so much of my time and money for her unexpected decision to become a parent. She's only 6 weeks pregnant, so it's not an immediate crisis. But I knew I couldn't let her move in with that plan. Indy didn't know about the situation yet, but I was sure she'd feel the same way as me. Layla, however, had told some of her friends, who I'm not close with, about her plan as if it were a certainty. They were all very excited for her and were painting an idyllic picture of how she'd raise the kid in my apartment, which only made things more complicated. I was completely at a loss about what to do. I didn't know how to tell her that this wasn't going to work for me and that she couldn't move in with a baby. I didn't want to be too harsh and tell her directly that I thought it was insane for her to have a baby right now. After all, this must be a terrifying and difficult time for her. I did mention that I had concerns about how it would all work out, but she didn't seem to take them seriously. I even considered telling her parents. Her mom is really sweet and kind and has always helped her, but her dad is a different story, and I had no idea how he'd react. I also thought about talking to Indy and maybe figuring out a way to tell Layla together. I took the advice of one of you and talked to Indy about it. As I suspected, she felt the same way as me. We decided to confront Layla together so she could understand that this wasn't going to happen. We got together at my place on Tuesday and had some tea. We sat down and told her that we were really worried about her. We said that the idea of us all raising the baby together was completely irresponsible and not something we wanted. We decided not to bring up her mental health or job situation to avoid making it seem like an attack. She got really emotional and told us that she knew it was a crazy idea. She said she was scared and in shock and didn't know how to react or think straight. Apparently, it wasn't even her idea in the first place. Some of her other friends, whom we don't know well, came up with it and pressured her because they were so excited. She said she'd been crying every day since finding out and was terrified of the future. She just wanted everything to go back to normal. At that point, we told her that we understood and that we'd be there for her no matter what she decided. But we also made it clear that we thought it would be extremely difficult for her to be a mom under these circumstances. So, Layla decided that getting an abortion would be the best option for her. She said her initial reaction was to terminate the pregnancy, but she felt guilty because she comes from a very conservative family. I don't want to get into a debate about the morality of that decision. We told her we'd support her every step of the way. We both went with her to the doctor on Thursday to confirm the pregnancy and learn about her options. Since she was only 6 weeks pregnant, she could take some pills over a 48-hour period to end the pregnancy. She took the first pill at the hospital on Friday, and we were with her. Then, they both stayed at my place for the weekend while she took the second pill. Her parents still don't know, and she didn't want to tell them. Luckily, my roommate is on holiday with some friends for the rest of the week, so we had the whole place to ourselves and didn't have to explain anything to anyone. She took the other pill yesterday, and everything seems to be going smoothly. She's just having a heavy period, which coincidentally lines up with Indy's and mine. Sorry for the TMI. We've all been lying in my bed with heating pads, watching Netflix, feeling a bit miserable, but also relieved. The pain hasn't been too bad, and regular painkillers have been enough. There have been some tears, lots of hugs, long talks, and walks in the forest. I feel like things are going to be okay. They're both staying here until my roommate gets back, so Layla can get through this in a comfortable environment without having to pretend nothing is wrong. It seems like the plan of moving in together is back on track as originally planned, and I'm hopeful that everything will be okay. Layla was offered some counseling at the hospital about dealing with the abortion and her feelings, and she's starting it next week. I'm so incredibly grateful to those of you who gave me advice when I needed it. This outcome is better than I could have ever hoped for, and I wouldn't have known what to do without your help. Thank you.